Somewhere in your chest, right now, a garden hose is slowly turning into a rusted pipe. You can't feel it happening. That's the terrifying part. There's no pain switch wired into your arteries, no alarm, no warning light. The first symptom of a clogged artery, for a shocking number of people, is a heart attack, not a headache, not fatigue, the actual event. You wake up tomorrow morning feeling completely normal. You go for a run. You eat a salad for lunch. You're not overweight. You don't smoke. Your doctor told you your numbers are fine. By every logical metric, you should be safe. And yet, inside the walls of your blood vessels, something has been quietly happening for years, invisible, painless, and almost completely ignored by mainstream health advice. Here's the trap. You've probably been told that as long as you eat healthy and exercise, your arteries take care of themselves. That's the lie. You could cut out red meat entirely, swap butter for olive oil, run 5 miles a week, and the actual molecule responsible for keeping your arteries open and flexible could still be running on empty. Diet and exercise alone don't fix this. They never did. This is about one single molecule, not cholesterol, not saturated fat, a molecule called nitric oxide. And here's what almost nobody tells you. It has nothing to do with how disciplined you are. Your arteries aren't failing because you're lazy, or because you skipped a supplement, or because you didn't try hard enough. They're failing because your body has slowly stopped producing enough of one specific chemical signal, and once that signal drops, no amount of willpower fixes it. Only biology does. So here's the promise. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact drink and the exact 14-day window where you can biologically restart that signal. Improve blood flow, support the lining of your arteries, move the actual numbers your doctor checks. Not through motivation, through molecular biology. This isn't about cholesterol. This isn't about genetics. This is about one molecule, nitric oxide, and modern medicine rarely explains it to you in a way you can actually act on. Here at this channel, we don't do vague advice like eat clean and move more. We decode the actual mechanism, so you stop guessing and start understanding exactly what's happening inside your own chest. So why does this happen in the first place? For hundreds of thousands of years, your blood vessels needed one thing above all, the ability to widen instantly. Imagine an ancestor sprinting from a predator. Their arteries needed to dilate in seconds, sending oxygen-rich blood to the legs and heart, or they didn't survive. The molecule responsible for that split-second widening is nitric oxide. It was, quite literally, a survival tool. But here's the modern mismatch. Your biology hasn't updated its blueprint in 10,000 years. Your environment has changed completely. There are no sprinting predators anymore. Instead, there's sitting at a desk for 9 hours, processed food, chronic stress, and inactivity, all of which quietly suppress your body's ability to produce nitric oxide. The threat changed. The chemistry didn't catch up. Here's the mechanism, in plain terms. The inner lining of your arteries is called the endothelium. Think of it as the inside skin of a hose. When that lining is healthy, it constantly releases nitric oxide, which tells the smooth muscle around the artery to relax and widen like a hose expanding to let more water flow through. When that lining is damaged or understimulated, nitric oxide production drops, the artery stays tighter, blood pressure rises, and the inner wall becomes the perfect surface for oxidized LDL particles to stick and accumulate into plaque. This isn't placebo science. This is measurable endothelial function. So here's your paradigm shift. You've probably been told that artery health is just about lowering cholesterol. But cholesterol is only half the story. The real metric that matters is how well your arteries can still widen on command. A clogged artery isn't just blocked, it's lost its ability to flex. And that flexibility is controlled by nitric oxide, not by willpower, and not by cutting out one food group. So how do we actually hack this system? Here's what most people get wrong. They reach for supplements claiming to clear arteries, when the real lever sits in something far simpler, beetroot juice, blended with a small amount of pomegranate. Here's the wrong behavior. People assume any antioxidant drink works the same way. It doesn't. Beetroot is uniquely loaded with inorganic nitrates. Once swallowed, bacteria on your tongue convert those nitrates into nitrite, and your stomach acid converts that nitrite into nitric oxide, the exact molecule your endothelium has been running low on. The cascade without this drink looks like this. Low dietary nitrate intake, reduced nitric oxide production, endothelium stays stiff, blood pressure creeps up, oxidized LDL sticks more easily to the artery wall, plaque slowly accumulates, arterial flexibility declines further. Here's the mechanism with the fix in place. The nitrates from beetroot juice essentially act like a chemical key that unlocks your artery's relax switch, similar to how unclenching a tightly closed fist allows blood to rush back into your fingers. The pomegranate adds punic halogens, antioxidant compounds that protect the LDL cholesterol already in your bloodstream from oxidizing in the first place, which means less raw material available to actually stick to the artery wall. The counterintuitive part, most people think juice is just sugar. This combination isn't being used for sugar. It's being used for the nitrate-nitrite-nitric oxide pathway, measured directly in clinical research showing improved blood flow and reduced arterial stiffness with regular intake. This isn't placebo. Hospitals use nitrate-rich beet shots to support patients before cardiac stress tests. Anchor line: nitrates open the door, antioxidants guard it. Most people think artery damage is purely about fat. It's not. It's about inflammation first. The wrong behavior: skipping anti-inflammatory compounds because they don't show up on a cholesterol panel. The cascade, chronic low-grade inflammation immune cells called macrophages swarm the artery wall. They gobble up oxidized LDL. They swell into what's called foam cells. Foam cells pile up. That pile up becomes the visible plaque seen on an imaging scan. The mechanism: green tea catechins, especially one called EGCG, calm this inflammatory swarming response like a security guard telling immune cells stand down. There's no real emergency, reducing unnecessary cellular damage. This is backed by research linking regular green tea intake to improved blood flow and reduced cardiovascular mortality risk. Anchor line: less inflammation, less material for plaque to grab onto. Here's an unexpected science drop most people have never heard. Every time your blood sugar spikes sharply, say, from a sugary afternoon snack and then crashes, it triggers a brief surge of oxidative stress in your bloodstream, directly damaging the endothelial lining. The wrong behavior: reaching for soda or fruit juice loaded with added sugar as your healthy drink choice. The cascade: sugar spike, insulin surge, blood sugar crash, oxidative stress in the blood vessels, endothelial microdamage, repeated daily cumulative arterial stiffness over months. The fix: hibiscus tea, shown in human studies to raise plasma antioxidant levels within about 2 hours of drinking it, and it's naturally caffeine-free, making it a clean swap for an afternoon sugary drink. This isn't a trendy detox claim. It's measurable antioxidant activity in controlled research. A major Brazilian health study found people drinking more than 3 cups of coffee daily had significantly lower odds of coronary artery calcification than non-drinkers. Coffee isn't the villain here. Added sugar is. Now, before you rush out and buy bottled beet juice, stop. This is where it gets dangerous, and most people skip this part. The bottled juice industry isn't clean. To get a shelf-stable product, many commercial beet and pomegranate juices are pasteurized at high heat and loaded with added sugar, destroying a portion of the very nitrates and antioxidants you're drinking it for. Some juice blends contain less than 20% actual beet or pomegranate, diluted with cheap apple or grape filler. If you drink the wrong version, you're getting sugar with almost none of the mechanism. You think you're supporting your arteries, you're actually just drinking dessert. The rule is absolute. Only choose juice labeled 100% cold-pressed or no added sugar, with beetroot or pomegranate as the first ingredient, never from concentrate, never juice blend. If it doesn't meet that standard, leave it on the shelf. Here's exactly how to stack this over 14 days. 7 OM. Drink 4 to 6 ounces of cold-pressed beetroot juice, mixed with 2 ounces of pure pomegranate juice. This is when your nitric oxide pathway gets its biggest daily boost. 10 OOM. A cup of green tea instead of a second coffee. This is your inflammation calming window. 3 Drog PM. Hibiscus tea instead of a sugary snack or soda. This protects your endothelium right when blood sugar swings usually hit hardest. Evening. A large glass of water with a slice of lemon, supporting overall blood volume and circulation before bed. These 4 habits are not really about 4 separate drinks. They are about signaling. You're signaling to your endothelium to relax and widen. You're signaling to your immune system to stop overreacting. You're signaling to your blood sugar to stay steady instead of spiking. When you stack these signals consistently, your vascular system responds. By morning of day 1, you may notice you feel slightly less puffy, with better circulation in your hands and feet. By day 3, many people report steadier energy through the afternoon, without the usual crash. By week 2, blood pressure readings often begin trending downward, and some people notice improved stamina on stairs or short walks. By week 8 of continued use, research on nitrate-rich diets shows measurable improvements in arterial flexibility and blood flow markers on clinical testing. And here's the part that matters most. you're not forcing this. You don't have to white-knuckle a juice cleanse. You don't have to obsess over every gram of fat you eat. Your blood pressure improves without you having to try harder. Your circulation improves as a side effect, not the goal you're chasing every single day. Most people treat artery health like a math problem. Eat less fat, subtract calories, hope for the best. They cut out butter, swap to margarine, avoid eggs for decades, and then wonder why heart disease is still the #1 killer. Here's the reframe. Artery health was never about subtraction. It's about signaling. It's about whether your blood vessels are receiving the chemical message that it's safe to relax and widen. Your arteries aren't broken. They're not stubborn. They're not failing you on purpose. They've simply been starved of the one molecule that tells them to stay flexible, and nobody ever explained that to you in a way that made it actionable. If this resonated with you, if you're tired of vague advice about eating healthy, and you actually want to understand how your body works at the mechanism level, subscribe to this channel. I break down topics exactly like this one regularly, through real physiology, so you stop guessing.